Welcome to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress podcast, where we hear stories from fellow seamstresses just like you. We're able to share their success stories. We learn from wedding industry pros for the best business tips, and we get to hear from fellow sewists and crafters to hopefully inspire our creativity and our love for sewing. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're a bridal seamstress, I'd also like to invite you to check out our Bridal Seamstress business membership. We have a community of women that can testify to the power of genuine connection, friendship, vulnerability, the power of our six-figure seamstress method, and a genuine connection found in a business mentorship like this. All right, let's dive into the episode. Hello, and welcome back to another Six-Figure Friday tip of the week. You know that I'm still really trying to honor the time and make sure that this is truly a little shorty episode for you because I tend to get a little long-winded. So I'm looking at the time and I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes, but I'm really excited about this topic. If you are on my email list, you've already received this tip of the week in email form, so maybe you're already ahead of the game, but I want to talk to you about seasonal savings. And it's one of those topics that it's not super fun to talk about, but let me tell you, once you master this skill, it is life-changing and truly it makes a total difference in how you experience the month of February. Or if you are a friend in the Southern Hemisphere, how you experience, what is it, like the month of, I don't know, like when is, what? August? I'm trying to think of when we have a couple SBS members in New Zealand and in Australia, and I know that they have like opposite seasons as us, which kind of still blows my mind a little bit. And so as we're coming off busy season, they're coming off their slow season. So it's whatever the opposite is. I guess September for lower hemisphere friends. Okay. The seasonal savings will change your life. So if you are living in the feast or famine mindset, first of all, you are not alone. Okay. This is such a common thing, not just in bridal sewing, but I think every business has a season, right? Unless you own a grocery store. Maybe. And even like grocery store owners, of course, you're going to be like busier. Maybe you're on the holiday times or there's specific times of year where I don't know, people buy more groceries. I don't know. But in any other business, there's always going to be an ebb and flow. And so part of being a business owner isn't just like getting the work done, getting the deadlines met, all those things. It's planning ahead so that you can have like this even quota each month, right? We know that like some months you're going to be making so much money. It's like you're going to have so much extra, you don't know what to do with it. I'm going to tell you what to do with it in a minute. And then other months it's like, oh my gosh, like I literally don't even have like a booking fee coming through. Like this is what is happening, right? And so when we first start our businesses, it's normal to have that ebb and flow because we just don't even know like what to expect. Everything is kind of like a surprise for us the first couple years, right? But I want to encourage you that this does not need to be like your lifestyle as a business owner. I think that's where people tend to get really burnt out because they get used to this feeling of like, yay, there's money. And then like, oh my gosh, there's nothing. Like, I'm sorry, I have like nothing to contribute to the household. Or if you are doing this on your own for yourself, paying your own bills, that can feel really scary. And it does something that long-term stress, it does something to you and like not in a good way, right? So I just want to encourage you to recognize that yes, it's normal to have that like ebb and flow and the feast or famine feels are normal to go through, but they do not need to be forever. And that certainly does not need to be your lifestyle. So if you feel like this is just how things are, when you run your own business, I'd love to have a deeper conversation with you. We can book a one-on-one call and really build up a personalized strategy session so that you do not need to feel like you're barely making it January, February, because I remember those feelings and it's not cool and it's really stressful, but it doesn't need to be like that forever. So seasonal savings is a separate account that you have set up with your bank that you do not touch until, I don't know, like November, December, when things are really slow. Okay. And you just plan ahead for this, when you're busy or when there is this steady income. So you can do this a couple different ways. So if you are kind of like a cash only or whatever, you can literally have like a cash envelope in your house if that's how you accept payments. But what I did is I literally went to my bank and, I have my business account, and within my business account, I have, this isn't my own idea. I got this from Profit First. We implement this within SBS. We talk about different ways to tweak profit first for our own businesses. But I went into the bank and I set up, 4 different accounts within my business bank account. So I have an expense account, seasonal savings, taxes, and profit. And I won't go through each of those because we don't have time for that because I'm trying to stay on time. But I do want to focus on the seasonal savings account. So the reason I did that is because now when I'm doing my online banking on my phone, I can, like the 10th and the 25th of the month, I start divvying up my funds between profit and taxes and seasonal savings. And then of course, like I contribute to our household income or whatever, eat twice a month. So with the seasonal income, I have a set percentage that I'm just adding to this seasonal account. And I don't touch it, even though I'm tempted to, because I'm like, oh, it kind of looks kind of fat. So I'm not going to notice if I take some money out. No, it's untouchable until probably I hit like December, because that's when things really slow down. And I'm going to tell you about my goal that I have for myself at the end of this episode for the month of November. Anyway, so I'm just like continually adding a specific percentage, and you can do that too. So after this episode, you can literally maybe go to your banking online, or you can go in person to your bank. That's kind of what I had to do because I was nervous that I wasn't going to figure it out, and I like to talk to people. So I went to the bank and set that up. So that might just be the first step for you after you hear this episode is set up that specific account at your bank. So you can see it on your phone, and it's really easy to send money to that seasonal account. The next thing that you want to do is figure out, okay, how much money do you actually want to save? Like, how do you come up with this like ambiguous number? Well, I think like this, the safety net or whatever that you just want to have as a business owner is 6 months of your business expenses saved up. And I know that that can feel like a lot, and I'm just going to add a little bit extra to that. I would add enough cushion so that you're not just barely paying the bills, but you feel kind of comfortable. Okay, so whatever that set amount is, add an additional percentage so that there's, cushion so that you're not just barely getting by. And here's how you're going to do it. And like I said, if you want to dive into this more, I know it's like a super overwhelming topic. If you want like a personalized plan, we can talk about this. But what I would do is either have a set percentage or a set dollar amount that you're just constantly adding to that seasonal savings fund. You it may be a struggle to hit it the first year because it's like, a totally different mindset shift. But if you do not make it this year, I can promise you you're going to make it next year because your mindset has already changed to saving for the future. So I have a financial advisor and I have couple different retirement accounts set up, and I have a specific amount that automatically comes out of my bank account every month, the first of the month. So I don't even think about it, and it doesn't even count as being like money that I can use. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's automatic, it's just heading out the door, whatever. And I'm so used to that. It's been, I don't know, years now that I don't even think about it. And that is how my seasonal savings account is feeling for me now too, because it's so automatic. I'm not thinking of it as like, oh my gosh, that's all this like money that I could have used for XYZ, or, we could have bought the new furniture with that. That's kind of the next thing on our list is I really want a new like sofa and love seat set with like the soft ottoman, the big one that you can use as like a coffee table, but it's a big ottoman. I really want that. Anyway, that's on the wish list. I'm not having it yet, but I could. That's what I keep telling myself. Like, oh, I could purchase that, but no, that money is going towards the seasonal savings. So when it's just becoming this habit that you are putting the money away and saving, when it becomes your habit, you're not overthinking it and you're not missing it and you're not counting it as money that you could use now because it's just like automatically being shipped over to your seasonal savings. So even if you save like 60% of what you want as your seasonal savings this year, don't be down on yourself because you're that much closer to saving your full amount next year because your mindset and your habits are changing. But you have to start with the first year. So if you're like, oh, I'm never going to save that much anyway, so why try? Well, you're just telling yourself to spend the money that you have now, and you're going to continue to live in that feast or famine mindset instead of just retraining yourself, retraining those habits to squirrel the money away, to discipline yourself to say no to all the things that you want, and just remember like how good that's going to feel in January, right? I have a goal for myself that I don't want to take brides starting in November. Ooh, because we have our SBS retreat in November. I'm heading to the wedding MBA in November, and I'm like, I know that I'm just gonna want like no sewing deadlines. So that's kind of like a big experiment for me to see, can I make it? Can I get to my seasonal savings and like still pay myself monthly until then and make it to November? So I will let you know. Let me also tell you something that I was doing wrong. I thought I was doing right, but it was totally wrong when it comes to seasonal savings. And it isn't just spending money, because yes, that was wrong too. Like the spending money that, ooh, I have money now, so I'm going to buy what I want. That was wrong. But also, I was not consistent in what I was paying myself. So now I'm on like a payroll for myself, whatever, it's this whole thing. But what that has helped me do is be consistent in what I am paying myself or paying our household income each month. Because what I used to do would be like, oh, this was an awesome month. So here's like this big deposit. And then the next month it'd be like, oh, well, I kind of only want to give you or give us a couple thousand. And then the next month it'd be like, woohoo! And it just was not consistent. And if you know Duran, he loves to plan. So he was like, this is not working for me. Okay. I'd rather have a lower number every single month than, these highs and lows that I can't keep up with. And that was such a game changer for us too, because that helped me stay consistent. It helped me think long term instead of living in the moment of like, oh, now I have money. Oh, now I can buy this. Oh, now I can send us more, a higher amount. And then the next month it was like a little more unpredictable or it depended on my mood. Now it is very consistent and it has everything to do with like a predetermined amount that we decided that I was going to contribute to the household. And then I have a certain percentage that I'm putting into seasonal savings until I hit a specific number. And I have a specific date in mind that I want to get to that number by, right? So there's just a few little decisions that need to be made for you to get on your way to your seasonal savings. So number one, open up that bank account so that you can easily deposit it like on your phone without having to make it a big thing. And number two, decide how much you really want to save. What is that specific amount? And have that specific amount in mind. Consider, do you want to have a percentage that goes to that specific amount, or do you want to just, have a dollar amount that you're putting in until you get there? What is the date that you need your seasonal savings by? And then in between all those decisions, decide what you want to be paying yourself consistently each month. And you know what? It might be kind of low. You might be like, okay, I just want to pay myself like 1,500. Okay, then be consistent with that. Every month you're giving yourself $1,500 and you're not going back on that. You're not skimping out some months or paying yourself a little extra. Be consistent. And I'm telling you, those habits, that habit changing is life changing. It's those small decisions that you're making and you're sticking to that's going to redefine how you are experiencing January and February. At the beginning of the podcast episode, I mentioned once you get the ball rolling with your seasonal savings. Maybe if you don't hit it this year, you will hit it next year. The same thought process works with our SBS members who want to cross over that six-figure threshold, right? They want to get to a certain amount. And I tell them once you hit that amount, it's actually harder to make less the following year than it is for you to make more the following year. We have a member who she had a financial goal. She wanted to get to a specific number. I think she wanted to have like 145 or something by the end of the year. And she's like, oh my gosh, I made it. No problem. This year, she's taking on significantly fewer clients because she's expecting and she has like lifestyle change that's coming upon her. And she's already hit that number. And it's June because her mindset is what changed last year, right? So many things that she had to work through to get to that specific dollar amount. She's already done that work. So this year it was so much easier for her to get to that number. And she had kind of planned on making less money this year. And I told her, I was like, well, once you cross that threshold, it's really hard to go backwards because you're already like a different person, right? You're already running your business as a different person as from when you were running it like a couple of years ago, barely making ends meet. The same thing goes with your seasonal savings. You have a year where it's like, okay, I'm just kind of reprogramming my expectations and my planning and getting these details in line. And then after you do that, it becomes easier in the years to come. So if you feel like you're just, ooh, you're so done feeling stretched and stressed in January, now is the time to dig into that seasonal savings when the invoices are coming in hot and you have that consistent income. Put that money aside. Even if this year you just managed to put aside like 2 or 3 months worth of business expenses, that's more that you had put aside last year. And next year, it's going to be even easier to get to that 6 month mark. Okay. This is such a heavy topic, but I feel like we did okay in like 15 minutes. So if you have more questions or you want to know specifically how to do this for your business so that you're not feeling stressed in January, let's have a conversation. You can schedule a one-on-one call through the link in the show notes, and we can develop a strategy specific to you so that like you don't have to be stressed anymore. This does not need to be your lifestyle just because you decide to become a bridal seamstress. Okay, let's talk more. And if you've already hit that seasonal savings and you know how it's done, you have these great habits, please let me know what they are so I can share those habits on your behalf with our audience because we just want to be helping each other. Okay, we do not need to be stuck in this feast or famine rut. All right, happy savings and let me know how you're doing along the way. Have a great weekend, and I will hopefully see you back here on Tuesday.